Hello wonderful person, this is Anton, and in today's video we're going to be doing a bit of a travel in the space engine, and we're going to go to the edges of our universe and try to discover life there. So let's actually fly through space engine and find out what we can find in those far reaches of space. Welcome to What the Math. So this video was actually suggested by one of you wonderful people. Unfortunately, because I am horrible with names, I totally forgot who it was. And if you are this person, thank you so much, and please leave a comment so I can mention you in the comments. Anyway, what we're going to be doing is we're going to travel for a very long time. For basically, if I were light, it would take me about 13.8 billion years to travel to, maybe even longer. We're going to go to the edge of the universe in space engine, and what we're going to do there is we're going to pick a galaxy, any galaxy, random galaxy, and then we're going to look for a random solar system and see what we can find in that particular solar system. And then we're actually going to also try to find some life. So there comes, or there goes the Milky Way, and there go the other galaxies. And right now we're actually traveling at a speed of several thousand light years per second, but we have to go faster because even if I travel at this speed, it is going to take me a really long time to get to the edge. So all of these little particles you see scrolling through the screen right now, those are galaxies, all with billions and trillions of stars. Each single one of them has quite a lot of awesome stuff to explore. But we're actually going to look for the one on the edge, and we're going to see how many objects with life we can discover there. Now, statistically speaking, you should be able to find life in other galaxies. You should actually be able to find quite a lot of life. As a matter of fact, you should be even able to find quite a lot of intelligent life even in our own galaxy. This is kind of the paradox we have here, because we haven't really seen or heard of any other intelligent life except for our own, of course. And this is what we refer to as the Fermi Paradox. But there are many explanations to why not, and we're not going to talk about them in this particular video because, first of all, I've talked about them previously, and second, because I actually want to make this a separate video later on. But what we are going to look for is really any life, maybe multicellular or unicellular, or even some exotic, crazy aerial life. So I think we're kind of reaching the end. Oh, there we go. That's the end of the universe. You can kind of see if I turn around, there's nothing. This is the end of the visible universe in the space engine. And we're currently at a distance of approximately 17.9 billion light years from our planet Earth. Well, let's maybe fly around here a little bit and pick a galaxy. Every single one of them here probably hides quite a lot of interesting stuff. Now, there's actually quite a lot of choices for us here, and I guess we can pick something that's more bright, like for example this galaxy right there, which seems to be an elliptical galaxy, I guess. Yeah, E1 elliptical galaxy with the diameter of 160,000 light years. But I really actually want to pick something that looks more like our own galaxy. And this here might be it. This seems to be a galaxy that is actually spiral. SA type spiral galaxy. So maybe this is actually where we're going to go. It's a little bit smaller than the Milky Way. But let's actually look at what it looks like. And look at that, it's actually kind of cool. It's a really interesting and really cool looking, almost like an eye-shaped galaxy. And wow, this is a lot more awesome than I imagined. So we're going to go inside of it and just pick a random star here. And there's obviously quite a lot of choices for us here as well. We can pretty much pick any star in this particular region. But let's actually pick something not very significant, like something that might be sun-like. And okay, this is a super giant binary. Probably not the best place to find cool planets. This is a yellow giant. Maybe something a little bit bigger than our own sun. Can I actually find something that is very sun-like? And here we go, look at that, K4 type orange dwarf. This is probably as sun-like as I'll get on the first try. And this is kind of what it looks like. This star right here has a unique name, mostly because this is a procedurally generated star. But you can see that it does seem to have planets around it. At least one, maybe even two. And maybe even more. And actually a lot more than I thought. And we can take a look at all of these planets by clicking this right here, and look at that. It has 6-7 planets. All of them seem to be quite different from anything I imagined I would find here. We're gonna go explore some of them. This one is relatively cold actually. But interestingly, this is probably the first green or neon green planet I've actually seen in Space Engine, so this is something you don't see very often. Ironically, this is not from life. This is actually from some kind of a material on the surface that we don't really know what it is. But it makes it look very green. Possibly some sort of a mixture of sulfur. There's a gas giant here as well that seems to have very cool colors. This is a cold Jupiter with very, very beautiful colors on the surface. And the only planet that might be, I guess, habitable is this right here. Oh no, that's a super Neptune with really cool rings. Wow, look at this view. You don't really see this view very often, even in the Space Engine. This is actually really, really, really gorgeous. That's quite a discovery here. But yeah, unfortunately there's no habitable planets. This is a desertic sub-Aquaria. It's a little bit cold to be habitable. And it doesn't really have any water on the surface either. And the rest of the planets are a little bit too hot. So it looks like in our first attempt we did not find any life. Now, how do we actually find life here? Well, what we can do is we can use the built-in Space Engine search, and we can actually go ahead and try to find a planet that might have life on it. And to do this, we're going to click on the Star Browser right here, go into the filter settings, and just pick something that has any life here. And as soon as I clicked on OK button, look at that, something showed up right away. It's within about 6.5 light years away from us, and it's around, surprisingly, a red dwarf. So this is star similar to nearby Proxima Centauri and the infamous TRAPPIST-1. Now here in this system, which seems to have 11 planets and 1 with life, this is what the actual star system looks like. So here are the planets, here's the red dwarf, and let's go and find that planet with life in it. Now, this so far is probably the farthest life I've ever discovered in Space Engine, at a distance of like, what, 17 billion light years? Almost 18 billion light years away from us. And because it's so far away, it's actually moving away from us at almost the speed of light. That's because of the way the universe expands the farther away you go from it. Alright, so this unusual warm marine Aquaria with life seems to have organic, multicellular, marine, and terrestrial life. This is basically Earth, except it's far, far, far away, and not Earth at all. Okay, so the temperature here is 35 degrees Celsius. It has 4 moons, which also means a lot of various tidal effects. But let's go and check out the surface of this beautiful world that is so unusual and so cool. This is actually all the other planets that we have here. And let's close this for a second and land on the surface. Now, unfortunately, we don't really see any of this life, so we just may have to imagine it, because as of now, Space Engine doesn't really allow you to see any life except for some of the plant lives. But it is here, it is there, and it's definitely present on the surface. Now, it looks like this planet actually doesn't have any... Does it have any terrestrial land? Is there anything here? Or is it all just a big water world? Alright, it looks like there is actually no terrestrial land here at all. I kind of looked everywhere, could not find a single piece of land. It's just water and clouds, which is pretty cool. I guess makes this world a little bit more unique and different. We actually found a habitable water world, which is really awesome. And it does have these tiny moons orbiting around it. And we can go and take a look at, let's take a look at this one. This one seems to be the closest to this object. So we can actually see what it all looks like from the surface of this rock. and just kind of look at the planet as this object orbits around it. As you can see, it's actually tidally locked to the planet. So this is pretty awesome. We were able to discover life really in no time, on a second try. And it's really because of the built-in space engine search, but also because of the statistical analysis of how we think life might actually be quite widespread and pretty much everywhere. We just have to look for it. Other planets here seem to be not as hospitable to life, with this one being basically a hot Jupiter, too close to the parent star, and the rest being a little bit too cold for comfort because they're a little bit too far from the habitable zone. So the only planet here is this number 2. Now, unfortunately, because this is procedurally generated, you might not be able to find this planet in your space engine, unless you have exactly the same version as me, and you type in these letters and numbers exactly as they appear here. And unfortunately, I think as soon as I update my space engine, this planet might actually disappear from existence as well. But that's not what it's all about. It's all about finding this and exploring this and being awed and amazed by this. And notice how actually one of the moons seems to orbit in retrograde orbit here. It moves against the flow, which is pretty amazing. So how this actually happened, we don't really know and probably never will. Well, anyway, that's all I wanted to do in this video, and thank you so much for the suggestion, because I actually really enjoyed exploring one of the most distant galaxies out there and finding this unusual planet with unusual life on the surface. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video and if you still haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button right now and come back tomorrow to learn something else. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Space out, and as always, bye bye. And I just want to actually go and check out what this is in the middle of the globular cluster.